Welcome back for another video. Transfer plans and team selection for Gameweek 22. A pretty brutal game week so far, with the Arsenal game left to play at the time of recording. 4 transfers in the bank though, so it's time to spend a few. Let's break down what we've learned from some of the games to take into the next game week. Brentford 3, Sunderland 0. Thiago does it again. What swingy player he's been. Like hundreds of thousands sold Thiago for Ekitike a few games ago. It's been a massive disappointment. Thiago was on a run of 6 games without scoring as well, and then suddenly 5 goals and 2 out of nowhere. 16 goals now for the season. That's the most by a Brazilian in a season in Premier League history, and it's Game Week 22 next. So he's passed Martinelli, Firmino and Cunha's records there. Only Haaland, Kane and Mbappe have got more goals in Europe's top 5 leagues currently. It is a game of very high randomness and variance, and if you're one of those that sold him, then just try and put it behind you and look at the next game week. Don't look at what could have been, should have been. The same game, actually, another example of FPL's high randomness, like 1% Lefay. He was a mega differential in my team. Barely anyone in the world has got him. Sunderland win a penalty. I had him in my team because he's a penalty taker. And then Keller goes and saves his penalty and he does a stupid Panenka. 1 kick there, just the difference between a green and a red arrow for me. 13 pointer for Keller then. I mean, pretty stupid to try and Panenka in the first place against a really prolific keeper for penalties. Collins with a 13 pointer as well. He's going to get Defcon after the final update on top of his 11 pointer. Everton 1, Wolves 1. Really dramatic game. Everton with 2 red cards, 1 for Keane and 1 for Grealish. A hair pull by Keane means he's going to be suspended for 3 matches for violent conduct, so he's back in Game Week 24. Everton are going to hope to have Brentford back early, or around then as well, so he's a very easy sell. Mane with the Wolves goal, so that's 2 goals and 1 assist in his last 2 games. What a game week it was for the super cheap forwards. 4.5 mil Mane scoring, and 4.6 mil Krupi also scoring. If you could pick any front 3, perfect front 3 for your FPL team, do you go Haaland, Mane and Krupi, or do you go Haaland, Thiago and one of the budget forwards? I'm looking to sell Ekitike for one of those after the Burnley game potentially, assuming that he's fit for the Burnley game anyway. I'll explain which one is my favourite between Krupi and Mane in a sec. Another red card elsewhere, Fulham 2, Chelsea 1. Cucurella for a foul on Wilson, which was a last man challenge, denial of a goal scoring opportunity. Like Grealish, he's going to serve the suspension in the FA Cup, so he's actually available for next game week still. Wilson and Rao, the goal scorers for Fulham, 3 points for Fulham. Rosinha wasn't in charge for this one, he was watching from the stands. Palmer, I have to say, had a really poor first half, but he did grow into the game second half, and he was looking a lot better second half, but yeah, he was taken off about 75 minutes. They do appear to still be managing him, because he was playing better as the game went on, despite being a man down, and I think people were surprised to see him come off. It looked like one of the medical staff was sort of saying that we have to take him off. Some are looking at Palmer from Game Week 22, which I don't mind. In my case, I'm looking at Game Week 24, so for me, he's on audition a couple more game weeks before I commit to buying him there. Fulham go level on Chelsea with points. What a manager Marco Silva is, so underrated. Who's got the best fixtures? So in terms of attack and defence. Chelsea are actually top for projected goals over the next 6 game weeks. It's a crazy run. It's Brentford home, Palace away, West Ham home, Wolves away, Leeds home and Burnley home. Perfect time really for Rosinha to come in theory get some immediate results. Man City are actually joint top with Chelsea, but obviously frustration is growing there with Foden after 5 straight blanks. I'm going to be keeping him for the Manchester derby next game, plus Wolves home, and then I'll probably sell him, so 2 more games for Foden for me. Cherky was benched last game as well. He was due a rest to be fair, so keep hold of him. Liverpool were 3rd for projected goals with 11.5 over the next 6. It's that Burnley game next in particular. I think Gakpo could be a really interesting super differential there. And Szoboszlai, if you still got him, you've got to hold him for that game. Gakpo and Zobo could be nice short-term picks for the next couple of game weeks if you've got some transfers banked, to cover Cunha, sell him when he's got City and Arsenal, for example. Arsenal are 4th in projected goals, and then it's Palace. Look at those 2 Palace fixtures, Game Week 26 and 27. Burnley home, Wolves home. I'm hoping to get Munoz around then. For projected clean sheets, Arsenal remain firmly top, 2.8 for the next 6 game weeks. Question for you, if you could have any Arsenal triple up from next game week, what would it be? Like, on the one hand, Rice is smashing it this season. He's a top scoring Arsenal player. Saka's still genuinely great pick though. Plus, obviously, double defence clearly has got big potential over this upcoming run, given how high they are on the projected clean sheets. I'm unlikely to chop and change from double defence to double midfield, so it's going to be Raya, Gabriel and Saka that I'll likely have. Gabriel, Timber and Saka I think would actually be my perfect triple up if you can afford it, otherwise Rice, Timber, Gabriel. Chelsea are second on the projected clean sheets. Maybe Gameweek 24 is the better entry point, though Brentford home obviously not bad. Man City are third, and then it's Liverpool, Palace and Villa. Screenshots are from FPL.page, also accessible from the Focal app, link below to install it. It's 77p per week if you want to join premium and get all the features and hide the ads, etc. So Bournemouth 3, Spurs 2. I think the script writer's again a bit lazy here. So on Semenyo's final game for the club, and on his birthday, he scores a 95th minute winner to secure 3 points for the Cherries. Tavernier with an assist. I think he could be a great option for 5.6 mil. There's the free kicks, the corners, possible penalties and some great fixtures long term. So let's try and get to the bottom of it. Who's better, Krupi or Mane? Right now, I think my preference is actually Krupi. So he scored 7 times this season, and his minutes should be slightly better than they were before, in theory, following Kluivert's surgery. Maybe Semenyo's departure could indirectly benefit him as well. You know, like Tavernier has to play on the wing when he could have otherwise been deployed as a 10 potentially. I think we're going to see Krupi and Evan Nilsson starting together quite a lot. Bournemouth are a much better team than Wolves as well. Though obviously right now Mane is getting the better minutes. His last 4 actually were 90, 85, 90, 90. I think they're both fantastic, to be honest. If I was wildcarding this week, I would actually have both. I'd have Haaland, Krupi and Mane and run with a 4-5-1 and bench both. But yeah, if I was picking one or the other, right now it's Krupi. Man City 1, Brighton 1. More points dropped for City. Doku winning a penalty, which Haaland did bury, and then Mitoma with the equaliser. O'Reilly benching was not expected here though, obviously given Vardy and Ruben are both out injured for a while. The only way I think O'Reilly wasn't going to start was something mad like, you know, Rodri centre-back or Elaine straight into the team, and that was what happened. Elaine straight in after being recalled from his Watford loan. He's been priced at 4.5 mil, so definitely do not go there. Even if he was 4 million, don't go there. Cherky benched as well. I would definitely keep him for the next couple of games despite the benching and then make a call on him. Man United and then Wolves. It's a bit easier to take that benching if you've got him because he has returned more recently than Foden and he is literally 2 million cheaper. A quick look at the Defcon standings. Who are the best defenders and mids? Senesi is averaging 13.05 Defcons per 90, which places him top in the league among defenders. Tarkowski has moved up to second with 11.24, Anderson 10.9, and then it's Lacroix, Collins and Richards. Despite playing a few games in right back, Mukiele is still averaging 10.16 per 90, and he was the only Sunderland player to hit Defcon points against Brentford. Anderson is the top midfielder with 13.67 per 90, and assists last match as well for a 7-pointer. He hasn't hit a double-digit return all season. He's a low-ceiling player but a high-floor player, I guess is how you could say it. He's kind of a steady trickle of points. You know, recent returns or recent points are 7, 4, 4, 3 and 4. Most of the mids here look like pretty awful picks after Anderson. Garner could be alright for 11.52 Defcons per 90. Xhaka 11.15. Rice 10.99, the other standout. In other news, Bruno returned from injury. Straight in the starting 11 as well against Burnley, and he got an assist and bonus as well and then came off early. Sesko bagged a brace that game. Gordon and Voltemada owners very, very unlucky as Newcastle won a penalty late on, but both were off the pitch by then, so Bruno G took it and scored. He also got the assist for an 11-point haul. That's 3 double-digit returns on the bounce for the Newcastle mid. Calvert-Lewin got a goal and assist that match himself, but yeah, Newcastle edged it 4-3 win in the last second. Palace and Villa drew 0-0. Lacroix hit Defcon that match, no one from Villa did. Emi Martinez went off at half time. So onto the team for Gameweek 22 and transfer plans. The team selection before any transfers is Raya, O'Reilly, Mukiele, Timber, Van Dijk, Cunha, Foden, Saka, Lefebvre, Haaland and Ekitike. I've actually got a bit of a bench and dilemma here. So on the bench I've got Thiago and Anderson. Thiago's got Chelsea away, so that's a pretty tough fixture, but obviously 5 goals in 2, maybe I shouldn't bench him. Anderson's got Leeds away as well, so I think again that's kind of 50-50 between him and Mukiele. Maybe I start Thiago over Mukiele and play a 3-4-3 instead. So I've got 4 free transfers. I've got nothing in the bank with my team, and I really want to get Gabriel first of all, so it's just a question of which Arsenal player to sacrifice. The issue with Raya is that's 2 transfers required, one to sell Raya to free up the slot, and another to replace a defender. I did look at Sanchez and Gabriel in for Raya and O'Reilly, with a third move needed to fund it, like Cunha to Szoboszlai. That does look quite good. That's 3 transfers though, and I think I could play a bit sharper and make 2 instead, which also looks great now, and that would be Cunha to Gakpo and Timber to Gabriel. It is a shame to lose Timber because he is the top defender for expected goal involvement, so that one could end up getting punished, but I think transfers are so precious right now. I'd like to make as few as possible but still make good moves. Cunha's been a terrible transfer, and I've got the luxury of selling him to Gakpo for basically a 2-game week play. Gakpo's got Burnley home and Bournemouth away. Szoboszlai also looks fine, like he's on penalties, he's not playing right back anymore, but I think Gakpo feels more explosive, so that's what I'm currently thinking. Obviously Man City are missing Vardy and Ruben Dias, so holding on to Cunha for the next 2 is not too bad. It's particularly Arsenal away in a couple of game weeks that's really bad, so I'm tempted to kind of take Cunha on and go for a differential. So in game week 23 I would roll, and that gets me up to 4 free transfers for game week 24, where I do Gakpo to Palmer, Foden to Bruno, and then it'd be Ekitike down to one of Barnes, Krupi or Mane. It might actually be Barnes, basically just to ensure that I can afford basically Munoz and Tavernier in game week 25, where I'd have another 2 free transfers to spend. Game week 25 is when Palace have got Brighton away, and then they've got, I think it was Burnley home and Wolves home after that, whereas Liverpool have got Man City in game week 25. So I could finally sell Van Dijk for Munoz, and I could also finally sell Barr with Tavernier coming in that week for Villa home and some nice long-term fixtures for Bournemouth, and that lets me bench Lafay against Arsenal. So that all feels quite good. It just means losing Timber right now as opposed to keeping Timber and spending an extra transfer to sell Wright, if that makes sense. I've managed to hold on a couple of weeks not spending transfers rank wise, but then game week 21 has looked like a bit of a shocker, so hopefully the patience and the bank transfers are rewarded over this next period. I just feel like there's going to be so many transfers that everyone's going to want to make these next few weeks, and a lot of people are going to be looking at hits to make them all, or they're just going to not make some of these high upside moves that are on the table. So yeah, anyway, we'll see. I'm rambling now. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed the video. There's lots more content to help you out before the next deadline. See you soon for the next one.